You know those 3D printers that swear they're ready out of the box, and then 3 hours later you're still leveling the bed and wondering why everything looks like melted ramen? Yeah, this is not that conversation. I went through real user reviews and expert opinions to pull together the top 6 3D printers in 2026 that actually help with those everyday headaches. Product links are in the description, so you can check prices and specs while you listen. Number 6. Anycubic Kobra 3v2 Combo. Kicking it off with the Anycubic Kobra 3v2 Combo. Basically the I want multicolor prints, but I also like having money left over option. It gives you up to 4 colors, a 250 to 650 millimeter build volume, and speeds that are way faster than the older beginner machines a lot of folks started on. Translation for normal people, you can print helmets, figures, and a whole army of desk toys without waiting forever. The big appeal here is that it tries to make multicolor printing feel less like a part-time job. Users often mention that once you get your profiles dialed in, it tends to just do its thing. Auto bed leveling, sensible slicer presets, and a setup that does not require a mechanical engineering degree make it a nice first real printer if you're coming from cheap, unreliable stuff. Of course, it is still a budget machine. The frame and plastics feel a little more starter pack than high-end. It is not the quietest printer on earth, so if it sits in your bedroom, you might hear it humming along. And the cables around the color unit can look like someone parked a small robot on your desk. But if your main goal is to get into multicolor prints without wrecking your budget, and you want something that feels approachable, the Kobra 3v2 Combo is a very solid way to climb out of the cheap printer frustration cycle. Number 5. Creality SparkX i7 Color Congo. Number 5 is the Creality SparkX i7 Color Congo, also known as the printer for people who are tired of feeling dumb. This one is heavily aimed at beginners and busy folks in the US who want multicolor fun but do not want their evenings hijacked by endless calibration rituals. It uses a color system on top that handles up to 4 filaments, and people consistently talk about how much easier it is to manage compared to older multi-material add-ons. The interface walks you through setup in plain English. The machine does its own bed leveling, and the software actually tries to guide you instead of throwing cryptic error codes at you. A lot of first-time owners say this is the first printer that felt like a normal appliance instead of a hobby that might catch fire. There are a couple of trade-offs. This is more of a just works machine than a tinkering playground. If your dream is to mod everything, flash third-party firmware, and hack the hardware, this one leans a bit more closed. The build volume is very reasonable for home use, but not gigantic. So think organizers, minis, figures, parts, and some cosplay pieces, not full armor in one go. Still, if your main pain point is confusion and constant fiddling, and you want a printer that actually holds your hand and says, "I got this," the SparkX i7 Color Congo is a very friendly choice. Number 4. Elegoo Mars 5 Ultra. Now for the Resin fans, or the people who looked at FDM minis and thought, why does this wizard have pixelated fingers? At number 4 is the Elegoo Mars 5 Ultra, a resin printer focused on high detail. This one is built for miniatures, jewelry, tiny props, and anything where surface quality actually matters. The Mars 5 Ultra brings a very sharp screen and high resolution, which means your prints can come out with crisp edges and smooth curves instead of layer lines that look like tree rings. Owners repeatedly mention that detail level is what convinced them, especially for tabletop minis, character models, and intricate parts that just look soft on regular filament printers. It also includes conveniences like automatic leveling, smarter self-checks, and alerts that try to stop you from destroying the screen with leftover cured bits in the vat. Now, let's be real. Resin printing still has its welcome to the mess moments. You will use gloves, you will clean prints, you will deal with resin smell if your room is not well ventilated. The build volume is smaller than the filament machines on this list, so this is not for giant helmets. But if your biggest frustration is that your minis never look as good as the photos online, the Mars 5 Ultra is a strong answer to that problem. Many people end up pairing a resin printer like this with a bigger filament printer and use the Mars as their detail weapon. Number 3. Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo. Number 3 is fresh and already getting a lot of attention, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo. Think of this as the I want a fast, enclosed, multicolor machine that does not cost luxury money option. You get a Core XY style motion system, a 4-color setup, 350-degree nozzle for more demanding filaments, and a 256 millimeter beel. People are pretty excited about how feature-packed this thing is for the price. You get an enclosure to help with warping and noise, speed that lets you actually finish large prints in a reasonable amount of time, and a bunch of sensors that keep tabs on things like jams and doors. There is app control, camera support, and a general sense that this thing wants to play nice in a home or small workshop environment. For folks who are used to babysitting older printers, that is a very welcome change. The main catch is that it is still relatively new. That means firmware updates, slicer tweaks, and a little bit of early adopter life. If you like everything super stable and documented, you might prefer something with a longer track record. But if your pain point is slow, open frame printers that struggle with bigger or more advanced materials, and you want multicolor on top of that, the Centauri Carbon 2 Combo feels like one of the strongest mid-priced options right now. Number 2. Prusa Core One. At number 2, we have the Prusa Core One and its slightly upgraded sibling, the Core One Plus. This is for the person who is done gambling with random machines and just wants something built to run all the time, whether you are printing functional parts, brackets, or products to sell. The Core One family moves Prusa into a serious Core XY platform with a focus on reliable, repeatable output. A lot of users running print farms or workshop setups talk about how these machines are designed to stay in service for years, not months. You get controlled temperatures, strong mechanics, and a support ecosystem that actually answers emails. You can expand into multi-material with add-ons, move up in size, and keep the same general workflow. Of course, that kind of long-term approach is not the cheapest. The Core One machines sit in a higher bracket than the more casual printers on this list, especially once you start stacking upgrades. They also are not trying to be flashy multicolor toys out of the box. You are paying for reliability, spare parts, and support more than for rainbow prints on day one. But if your frustration is constant breakdowns, inconsistent quality, or printers that feel disposable, the Prusa Core One family is basically the opposite of that. It is the "I am serious about this now" move. Number 1. Bambu Lab P2S Combo. At the top of the list, sitting very comfortably, is the Bambu Lab P2S Combo. If someone in the US tells me, "I want one printer that will do almost everything reasonably well, and I do not want to babysit it every night," this is where I point them. The P2S gives you a 256 pies, 0.56mm build volume, fast Core XY motion, a hardened nozzle, and an enclosed design that helps with parts that usually warp on open machines. In the combo version, you also get the AMS for multicolor printing, so now you can do helmets, functional parts, phone stands, toys, and colorful display pieces from the same machine. Owners constantly say that this is the first time they felt like they could just send a print from the slicer, walk away, and not have a minor anxiety attack. It is not all sunshine. The multicolor system uses extra filament for purging, and the ecosystem leans pretty closed, which annoys some power users who like to tinker with every variable. Firmware updates and software choices sometimes start debates. But for most people who just want high-quality prints, solid speed, multicolor, and an experience that feels modern instead of fiddly, the P2S Combo hits that sweet spot between serious tool and not a full-time hobby. It solves the classic pain point of owning a printer that only works on its good days. Alright, that is our tour through the 3D printer jungle. Hopefully this saved you from spending 3 nights comparing spec sheets and watching layer height arguments on forums. All the printers we talked about are linked in the description so you can sanity check prices and reviews yourself. If this helped narrow things down, hit like, subscribe, and maybe send this to that friend who keeps saying they will start printing soon. Thanks for hanging out, and happy printing, not troubleshooting. Drop questions in the comments and I will help.